is nothing I love more than to curl up on a dark and stormy night right after a really good dinner, pour myself maybe a glass of Kentucky bourbon, and just cuddle up with a good blanket and watch a nice, cozy, stormy night horror movie. So, here recently in where I live, there's been quite a few storms coming through. We had a really bad one last night, and we're expecting another one tonight. And it got me thinking, what movies do I really kind of go back to all the time, during a stormy night when I have power anyway. And so I decided to make a little list, and these are going to be my top 10 horror films for a dark and stormy night. Now, I have a lot more than this. Maybe I'll do like a part 2 to this, and even maybe a part 3 eventually. But, these are the ones that just kind of popped into my head that I find myself watching and going back to quite often. Now, not all of these are films that have a storm taking place in them. Some of them are, but some of them are just ones that I find myself just wanting to watch. So they're in no particular order. I'm just going to start out at number 10 is going to be Dagon from 2001. Now this was a film directed by Stuart Gordon. I love this movie. It does have its issues and mainly bad early 2000s CGI, but for the most part, I love this movie. This is a great rainy night, rainy day movie. Anytime that there is a storm coming in, this is one that I find myself wanting to put on. Fantastic movie, has excellent atmosphere, great time. Highly recommend this movie if you get the chance. Honestly, almost any Lovecraft film. There's a few on this list actually, but a lot of Lovecraft films I find myself wanting to watch around, on a stormy evening. Number 9 is going to be Dracula. Now, this is interchangeable with the 1931 film or the Coppola 1992 version, either or, but I find myself always wanting to watch the 1931 original film because it is just an absolute classic movie. And if you've never tried this before, I highly recommend, if you're able to, turn off all the lights, put on Dracula from 1931, open the windows if nothing is going to get wet or ruined, and let that heavy storm and that heavy rain be your ambience for this movie, because the original film does not really have much of a soundtrack. Doesn't have a lot of music in it except for like maybe the beginning and a few key parts of the movie. But having a nice storm going on in the background is just the perfect ambience that goes with this movie. And to be honest with you, a lot of the Universal monster films are perfect for a dark, stormy night. But, in particular, Dracula from 1931 always does it for me. Like I said, could be interchanged with Dracula from 1992, the Coppola version with Gary Oldman. That one is a fine substitute, if you want something a little bit more modern. But I implore you, definitely try this with the original Dracula. Number 8 is going to be Friday the 13th from 1980. I think this is, no surprise, anybody expected me to put this movie on this list. And this could honestly be interchanged with a few of the Friday the 13th films. But I find myself, this first movie is so cozy, and I always find myself going back to this one, during a storm, especially during the summertime or the springtime. I love this movie. It has such a cozy vibe to it, all throughout the movie, but especially when the storm kicks in. I absolutely love this one. Again, it is just one of my more cozy films that I always love to kind of snuggle up with a blanket and some good food, and and just let the rain kind of come down and let the storm do what it's going to do while I just kind of envelop myself in this film. So number 7 is going to be Ghost Ship from 2002. This is another kind of cozy movie for me. What can I say about this movie? It's a comfort film for me. I love this movie. This one and even 13 Ghosts. I like watching those movies back to back. But I love Ghost Ship for a nice, dark, stormy, rainy evening. It just has a really nice kind of isolated vibe to it. And I love, I'd love it. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. I look forward to reviewing it at some point. I definitely will. I planned to a few months ago, but, some other stuff got in the way. So I will definitely be doing that sometime soon, I feel. Number 6 is going to be House of the Long Shadows from 1983. Now, this movie is is fantastic. This movie almost kind of comes off as a comedy towards the end, but I mean the cast is excellent. I mean, you have Christopher Lee in this movie, Peter Cushing is in this movie. They are paired up perfectly, along with the great Vincent Price is also in this film. I mean, what more could you ask for out of a movie? It's this nice big old cozy mansion that this guy is in, trying to write his horror story. So that even adds to the ambience, and that we've got all these shady characters in there. It's just a really nice cozy atmosphere in this movie, and I love it. I can't recommend this enough if you haven't seen it. If you're a fan of some of these old classic kind of actors, like I said, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, I highly recommend this movie. The cast is absolutely stellar. Number 5 is going to be Return of the Living Dead from 1985. Now, this is not only one of my favorite zombie movies, or rainy night zombie movies, I guess. This is one of my favorite horror films of all time. This movie is fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. It is great for any time of day, really and truly, or any time of year. Return of the Living Dead is fantastic. I love this damn movie passionately. It will always be one of my favorite horror films, but it's perfect for a rainy night. That actually, kind of plays into the plot of the movie really well. How the rain actually causes the trioxin to soak into the soil of the graveyard, and causes all of the zombies to rise out of the ground. So, Return of the Living Dead. Can't go wrong there. Number 4 is another Stuart Gordon film. Probably my... Yeah, I would say it's probably my favorite Stuart Gordon film, and that's going to be From Beyond from 1986. From Beyond is so good. It honestly acts like a spiritual successor to Reanimator. It's a great follow-up with a lot of the same cast. You get Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Ken Foree is in this film. It has such an excellent, cozy vibe where they're trapped in this house with this resonator that kind of sort of bridges the gap between our reality and another reality, and kind of makes things come through. Fantastic movie. Has some excellent special effects. Has a really nice atmosphere to it. Just an all-around cozy movie. And I would say that really this movie is good for any time, but it's one that I find myself going back to all the time, especially when it's storming. I love this movie. Highly recommended. I know a lot of people don't really share the opinion that this is Gordon's best movie, but there's just something about this one that has always really stood out to me. Now, I love Reanimator. I really do, but I prefer From Beyond over Reanimator. Nothing against Reanimator. I honestly think that they make an excellent double feature. Again, both Lovecraft films. And sticking with Stuart Gordon, number 3 is going to be Dolls from 1987. I mean, what can I say about this? There's no other film that's more perfect for a dark and stormy night than Dolls. This movie is fantastic. It's so cozy. It's this family and a couple of other people that are trapped in this old mansion while there's this storm raging on outside. You hear the lightning and the rain, and it's got these creepy dolls, and the mansion is just gorgeous. It's a beautiful set, fantastic actors. We get Guy Rolfe in this movie, who plays Gabriel, who is kind of the titular doll maker in this film. Highly recommend this movie if you've never seen it. This movie is fantastic. I almost exclusively save this movie for stormy evenings, especially during the winter time. It's more of a wintertime movie for me, but anytime we get a really hardcore storm, I'm wanting to throw Dolls on, without a doubt. That is one that always will come onto the list or come into my mind anytime there is a storm. Number 2 is going to be The Unnameable from 1988. This is another Lovecraft film. And this is another just kind of really cozy movie about these guys that are trapped in this old house. Or they kind of are trapped, but they choose to go into this old house where there's just this creature that kind of picks them off one by one. And it's such a fantastic looking creature. We get some really good gore effects in this movie. I can't can't recommend this movie enough. I know it's kind of underrated. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about The Unnameable, but I think that if you haven't seen this, you should definitely check it out. Highly recommend this movie. I mean, what more can I say? It's fantastic. Love The Unnameable. One of my favorite Lovecraft films. The sequel, The Unnameable 2, is also one that I enjoy, but the first one, definitely takes the cake. It is the better of the two, far more superior. I would love to review that movie and pretty much all the any of the other films that I haven't talked about on this list. I want to review all of them. And last but certainly not least is going to be Night of the Living Dead. Now, I personally prefer this is a very rare occasion where I prefer the remake over the original. The one from 1990 being the one that I'm talking about, the Tom Savini one. I love the remake of Night of the Living Dead, but for a dark and stormy night, I cannot pass up a chance to watch the 1968 original. Again, very similar to what I said with Dracula earlier. Just if you get the chance, open those windows up, turn off all the lights, get you some snacks going, get you a good drink to kind of keep you warm with a nice blanket, and just envelop yourself in this movie. And it's just the atmosphere is unmatched. I mean, there's just something about an old black and white movie, during a stormy night that really just, oh my God, it just touches my soul in a way that, nothing else really does. I mean, the original Night of the Living Dead is fantastic. Now, again, if you want something a little bit more modern, if you're not into, older films, which I understand, there's some people that aren't. I love a good classic film, from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. If it's a good film, I will sit down and watch it. But if you want something a little bit more modern, throw on the 1990 Night of the Living Dead. Honestly, that is the rare occasion where I actually prefer the remake over the original. I love the 1990 Night of the Living Dead. Fantastic movie. But like I said, for this occasion, I personally am going to go with the 1968 original Night of the Living Dead, the George A. Romero classic. Fantastic movie. And that is it. That is 10 films for a dark and stormy night. I hope you enjoyed these recommendations. If there's any that you like to put on during a dark and stormy night, definitely throw those in the comments. I like to hear everyone's suggestions. This doesn't even scratch the surface because, like I said, I love a good, marathon, during a storm, and that's actually, I always look forward to storms because of that. I feel like they don't come around as often, just mainly because I'm waiting for them. But tonight I know we're supposed to be getting a good storm. We got a good storm last night, so I'm gearing up and looking forward to watching some good movies, kind of hunkering down, getting me a blanket, getting a good drink, and making some good dinner, and just kind of cuddling up and watching some good movies. It's just a feeling that is unmatched by anything else. So anyway, until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next episode of the DVD Graveyard. As always, have a great night and goodbye.